Hey guys, it's Cusanto, and today we're going to be talking about a monster deck that I made. It's using the Overwhelming Hunger Leader ability, and it's got a great balance of control, removal, deck thinning, and point slams, and I think it works really good. So far we have about a 70% win rate in Pro, and we've been playing it on Twitch for the last week, so you guys have probably seen lots of games there. But going through the deck list, we're looking at Oniromancy. You have the Echo status, so you can play this twice during the game. It allows you to play any card from your deck. And of course the Haunt. It's a scenario that adds 3 cards to the game, including 2 consume cards and then 1 that's going to help with our swarm. And moving on to Geralt Jurden, it's kind of my last play of the game. With this you have the ability to reset the power of all units on a row to their default, which is great when you're playing against huge boost decks. The Karathi Heatwave is used to banish any sort of artifact or tall unit that we run into, and of course Detlef is going to be a big point swing in a very short period of time, as it can play for 15 points base and up to 19 points if you consume it with its leader ability. So with that being said, it's great to get out of any sort of bleed, to maintain card advantage, or just to get ahead in round 3. The Cave Troll is what's going to defend all of our assets here, including the Haunt and maybe some of the engines like the Beast. And then we have Maruna, which is one of our most defensive plays. It allows us to seize an enemy with 4 less power, so if they put down an engine at the start of round, we have the opportunity to take that before it develops into anything that's out of control. Goliath just plays as a simple point slam of 10 provision. I try to play it behind the defender because of its, conditions. They're not ideal, so we want to keep it alive on the field. And Striga, of course, is what kind of helps us with control. It deals for a total of 9 value, in this case being 5 damage and up to 4 damage and up to 5 power in this case. So it's a great card to have. And of course, the Beast, Werecat, Indriga Larva, all of these are going to be thriving and increasing in value on each turn. What we've thrown in for the deck thins would be the Wild Hunt Riders, as well as the Foglets. So with this one here with Dominance, you're able to summon the second copy from deck. And with this one here on Death Wish, you're able to summon the second copy from deck. So it really helps us get those extra 2 cards out in early rounds so that we pull into more golds later on. And the Indriga Warriors are for the event that we lose our Haunt scenario and we need an extra couple consumes, but if we don't need them, they can also be used to trigger the thrive of some of the units that require it. And of course, one of my favorite cards would be the Squirrel. You're able to banish a card of choice from your opponent's graveyard. This is perfect if they have any cards with Echo status. You can play this immediately after and remove that card from the game, so it's actually very powerful. And of course, to wrap things off, we have Fiend and Bruxa. Bruxa is great. It gets its value for 4 provision. It has the Thrive ability, it gives 2 bleeding, and it has 3 base power. And Fiend is definitely one of the most underrated cards, given that it's able to boost all Death Wish units in your hand by 1. So normally I'm getting about 4 hand buffs and a 3 power card, so it's playing for a total value of around 7 for 4 provision. So with that being said, I love to hop into a couple games and show you just what this deck's capable of, and we'll see what we play against. Who knows, right? It's going to be a lot of fun, trust me. So first up's Nilfgaard. Ideally, I'm looking to overwhelm them with a combination of the Indriga Larvas, the Bruxas, get out the Foglet Thin with the Indriga Warrior, and then drop the Wild Hunt Rider. The fact that we have Oniro, Haunt, and Detlef in hand, and the Beast, I mean, I wouldn't even mulligan a thing in this case. And normally we'd put down the larva and all the thrive units first. However, with dominance not necessarily going to be ours come next turn, it's better just to do that now. I feel strongly about saving the larvas for a later time to get a bigger thrive later on. So let's just get some bleeding down on one of their engines and look for a pass after the Foglet and Indriga play. Unless an opportunity opens up, and then we'll continue to push. Normally I'd maybe look at consuming these to prevent conspiracy and get rid of the bleeding, but since we're looking for a pass shortly, let's just go ahead and thin the deck out as intended. So at this point, we have an option. If they pass, we could play. If we can keep it within maybe 15 points, we can consider playing again. We do have Oneiromancy to dive in for just about whatever we want in this case, so... I say we just leave it at that. If it weren't for the bleeding units, I might entertain it, but it's just too much to deal with. So the job with the Endriga warrior is pretty much done. I'd say we can forego the squirrel at this point. Unless they might play coup de grace, then maybe we want to keep that. So with 1 and 2 Death Wish in hand, let's get rid of the Fiend. So it looks like, what, a double portal? Yeah, okay. And we have a great opportunity to play into the squirrel right now, just to get rid of the Oneiromancy. Maybe they can't pull that final piece to the puzzle next round. I would say they're probably looking for the pass on 7 to maintain last say. And in this case, we could just throw down the Bruxa and take the round. So fortunately, we do have a good assortment of Deathwish units, as well as, you know, powerful engines. We just need to pull into a couple more good things, being the Cave Troll for one. I think that Jurden would be essential, and Maruna. Potentially even Karathi, we'll see. The thing against spying is that it could really backfire if we carry too many larvae, so we'll actually mulligan a pair back and get Maruna in hand. We could pull into one of 3. I don't know if it's worth risking at this point, given that we have just about everything we're looking for, so we'll go with this hand. And I would say just put the larva down so we can get the big thrive going. I don't know if they're going to be running Masquerade Ball and Portal for round 3, or if it's just going to be a Portal thing. I would imagine it's probably just a double Portal in this game, but until I see it, we'll never know. There it is. And just because they're going to be playing so many engines, I think it's a great opportunity to put Maruna down and to take one of them, because it was kind of the big play they were looking for. This is what I'm talking about with the big momentum swing here. And what we'll do is we'll look to get either the Roderick consumed or covered in the instance where they're playing coup de grace to pull into him again. Yeah, they really didn't like that one. So, because we have dominance, we can actually go down with Striga, and we can just play into taking out one of their sim engines. And look to just consume Roderick just in case, keeping a healthy lead. And keep in mind, it looks like all the buffs right now are happening on ranged, so we have Geralt Jurden in pocket. It's going to do big damage later on. Hopefully they put that on the other side. Perfect. So this tells me right away that we should put up the defender instead of anything else, just so that they're having a hard time replaying the units that we have behind it, so they don't get the consumes for the Detlef. Hopefully it holds. Ah. It's one of those games, eh? Right on. I would imagine at this point, yeah, the informant would be the play, maybe even in for this or the larvas. Yeah. We're lucky though that so much of this is happening on the ranged row. Let's go in with the Detlef now just to get it done. And not to keep it too tall, we'll just do something like that. And we'll probably look to roll out the beast on next turn. Beast on ranged, Werecat on melee. One of the concerns I'm definitely having would be row jamming, right? We want to make sure that we don't have too much filled in on our side so that we can actually play all of our cards. So if it looks like we're running into some problems, then we're going to have to play a little differently towards the end of the match, but so far I'm still pretty comfortable. And that'll just go for a while. It's certainly getting close though, so what we're going to do is put Werecat down just to more or less make them want to play on ranged so that our Geralt play is ideal. And I'll probably look to play Geralt as soon as possible just in the event that we are running into problems. Yeah, that's what we'll do. So we have space here. We'll go ahead and consume that. And of course, put Geralt down to hit the ranged row. That's going to create a huge difference in points. It's all we could do given that we didn't really have any space. Hopefully we can play this round, but it's not looking... And there's really nothing we can do but just hope that it's enough to take the game. We get the last 2 points off the beast, and I think we're good. Perfect. Alright, and for game number 2, it looks like we're playing Scarlett. It's good to see we have a variety of different games here. So my concerns would be maybe Blood Eagle, so we're going to keep the squirrel in pocket for this turn. We have a reasonable amount of Death Wish units, so it does kind of make sense to put the Fiend up. We have the Foglet, and I want to pull into potentially a Consume for that. Riders are good too. So just while we have dominance, let's actually look to pull out the riders, because with a swing like that on the first turn, I can imagine how the tempo of this game's going to go. And this is fine. We're going to focus on the carryover aspect right now, so we'll put down the Fiend and get the carryover. And you see in this case, it plays for a total of 6 points for 4 provision, but we often get 7. I can certainly imagine this being the big play. So what I'll do is I'll put down Foglet, and I don't think we really have to depend on much in this case. Hopefully it just kind of naturally takes itself out. It will. So what we'll do is we'll pass here. We'll end up with 0 points for round, or 4 points in this case, but it's going to help with our thin in this. And hopefully they don't have Sigdrifa's Right or something like that to bring back Blue Boy, because if that's the strategy, it's going to be a little bit tricky to deal with later on. You're seeing a common trend here, though. We tend to try to just get through round 1 and extract a couple gold cards from them, but not dig too hard a lot of the time. We have the ability to dig hard, but it sets up slowly, so it's not ideal in a lot of cases. So I would say maybe we look at keeping Squirrel in hand, getting rid of the Larva, and potentially the Bruxa here for something a bit stronger. I would imagine, given the circumstances, they're probably going to push a bit harder. I guess they're just looking to waste cards and not really say a lot about it. Yeah, spawn rain for 3 turns. Sure. Right on, and I honestly think it's probably within our best interest just to put out something like that. Because of the Death Wish, it's sort of counterproductive in most cases, and I can imagine this actually going pretty quick. So hopefully we pull into one of the big 4, or else we're in trouble. And again, we'll shuffle back Noonwraith, hopefully for Oniromancy or the Haunt. It's a tough one. Here we go. That's not bad too. So since we don't have it and there's no way to get it, it's unfortunate and it rarely happens, but we'll keep things going just so you guys can see how we can come back in these circumstances. And I could definitely imagine that getting out of control rather quick. So what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and secure taking it here. It might actually proc if we do take damage from the larva, and I'll make sure I put something on the other side of it as well. And what's nice about this here is that there's nothing for it to bump into, therefore we're able to take it out with Striga since we have dominance. And I'll play beside the protector just next turn here. We have options to take care of that problem later. I would say we just keep this started. Get the whole Thrive thing going in full effect. And still not a lot to worry about, trust. With this one here, we could reset the back row and that's not even a problem. And for whatever reason, if they play something tall on melee, we have an answer to it as well. Yeah. So we'll just take care of that right now before they put a defender up. And we're saving the last 2 consumes for the Dettlaff. Yeah, this is going to be a walk in the park, guys. We'll put the defender up now just to protect everything on the back line. Half of that just went off the armor, so that's not too bad. And what we'll do here is just split it up a little bit and we will put Dettlaff on melee. And I honestly don't think there's any way they can come back from this one. I think we're probably not even going to be able to finish the game. It's not really going to help us, but it's not really going to hurt us either. It will stop the engine, will it not, when this essentially loses barricade. Okay, so to wrap things up, this is pretty much how it goes. Right on, awesome. So there you have it, guys. We played a couple games. You could see how it does well against pretty much every matchup so far that we've shown you. I'd strongly recommend trying it out. So what I'm going to do is put a link in the description to the download of the deck guide, and you can import it directly into your game so that you can start playing it right away. Definitely drop a comment, let me know how it works for you, and you can expect a new video every single Monday going forward. So next Monday we're going to be looking at a new topic. But for now, try out monsters and enjoy.